Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss animal ethics, culture versus compassion. So first, what is animal ethics? Animal ethics is the branch of ethics concerned with how humans should treat animals. And cultural traditions and modern ethical standards often clash when it comes to animal treatment. So, ang animal ethics ay isang mahalagang sangay ng etika na tumatalakay sa moral na pananagutan ng tao sa pagtrato sa mga hayop. Layunin din nito na itanong at suriin kung ano ang makatarungan, makatao at tama pagdating sa paggamit ng mga hayop sa pagkain. And one issues that animal ethics are facing right now is yung pagkakaiba ng pananaw ng bawat kultura. One example is that sa ilang bahagi ng mundo, katanggap-tanggap ang pagkain ng karne ng aso. Gaya na lang sa Yulin, China. On the other hand, marami namang kultura, lalo na sa kanluran, ang itinuturing ang aso bilang isang alagang hayop o kapamilya. Kaya tinutuligsa nila ang pagkain ng aso bilang isang uri ng kalupitan. And sa panahon ngayon, dumarami na ang mga taong naniniwala na ang lahat ng nilalang ay dapat tratuhin ng may awa, respeto at hustisya, hindi lamang ang tao. Kaya't ang pag-aaral ng animal ethics ay tumutulong sa atin na mas maging makatao at responsable sa ating mga desisyon tungkol sa ibang nilalang.
So why it's an ethical issue? The dog meat trade is an ethical issue because it raises serious concerns about animal cruelty, emotional harm, cultural conflict, and moral responsibility. Dogs are often treated inhumanly, kept in cramped cage, beaten or slaughtered painfully. Many people see dogs as loyal companions, not as food, which causes emotional distress when they are harmed. While some cultures view eating dog meat as a tradition, and others consider it morally wrong. So, sa pet owners, sa mga fur parents, yung mga nag-aalaga ng aso, they see dogs as part of the family and feel deep emotional pain when dogs are abuse or kinakain yung karne nila. Halimbawa, sa Pilipinas, maraming pamilya ang may alagang aso na tinuturing nilang miyembro ng kanilang pamilya. Kapag may balita tungkol sa mga dog meat trade, nagpo-post sila ng galit sa social media. Next is the consumer. Some people may not be aware of cruelty behind dog meat practices or feel conflict about supporting it. Halimbawa, sa ilang lugar ng Asia, may mga tao na kumakain ng mga karne ng aso sa mga selebrasyon ngunit habang sila ay kumakain, baka hindi nila alam na ang mga hayop ay pinapahirapan muna, kinukulong sa maliit na kulungan bago katayin. Next is activists. They fight for animal rights and promote humane treatment. Halimbawa is yung grupo ng People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is nagsasagawa ng kampanya at protesta laban sa dog meat festivals tulad ng Yulin Festival sa China. Lastly, business owners and traders. Halimbawa, sa ilang probinsya may mga palihim na pamilihan ng karne ng aso kahit bawal. Para sa kanila ito ay isang normal na gawain lang. So, sa animal rights, mga hayop gaya ng aso ay may kakayahang makaramdam ng sakit. Kaya ang pagtrato sa kanila ay ng marahas ay nagiging usaping moral. Sa human rights naman is may kalayaan yung mga tao na ipahayag ang kanilang kultura, ngunit dapat may hangganan. Ito is moral responsibility. Tungkulin ng lipunan na balansehin ang paggalang sa kultura at ang pangangalaga sa kapakanan ng mga hayop. Halimbawa, sa ilang lugar, bahagi ng tradisyon ang pagkain ng karne ng aso, bagamat ito'y bahagi ng kultura nila. Kine-question ng iba ito dahil sa karahasan ng karahasan sa mga hayop kasi may karapatan din silang mabuhay tulad ng sa atin mga tao.
At this point, we will be narrating the story that we have chosen from Peter J. Lee, entitled "The Dog I Saved from Yulin is a Constant Reminder the Dog Meat Trade Must End." Colby is his beloved dog at Houston, but 9 years ago, he was just another animal at a live dog market in Yulin. And it was 2014 during his second trip to Yulin with scores of activists from China and overseas when he met Colby. Going through rows of cages and crowds of traders, he heard noises coming from the back of a motorcycle. The whimpering sounds came from two puppies. After learning that puppies could be turned into stewed puppy meat, he offered to take them without a second's hesitation. When he got a better glimpse of them under a streetlight, they looked breathtakingly cuddly. Holding those adorable babies in his arms, he was determined to bring them out of Yulin. Public health concerns and food shortage imperatives were also a consideration. In recent years, however, pet keeping has returned to mainland Chinese households, and Yulin Dogs Meat Festival is an insult to tens of millions of animal lovers across the country who live with their beloved companion animals. China's dog meat trade is not simply an issue of morality. The trade as a whole is an affront to law and order, a free-for-all of cruelty driven by greed. Dog meat consumption, misleadingly presented as part of the Chinese traditional diet, is not driven by demand but by supply. Growing up in China himself, never once did see his mother bring back dog meat from her grocery shopping. China does not have dog farms where dogs are bred for consumption. Most dogs for slaughter, if not all, are stolen pets and stray snatched from the streets. The rescued Yulin dogs that Humane Society International has helped accommodate and find homes for over the years displays behaviors typical of household pets. On his trip to Yulin in 2015, he brought Huru, a cat, out of his slaughterhouse. Huru was a stolen pet. When he dashed in front of Peter Jalian, what caught his attention wasn't just misery in his eyes, but the pink collar around his neck. Unfortunately, Chinese law enforcement officials often ignore dog and cat thefts unless conflicts erupt between thieves and owners. And dog transport reaches another level of animal cruelty and lawlessness. What makes dog slaughter so horrific is not just the cruelty, but the fact that dogs are slaughtered in plain view of other dogs waiting for their turn. Visiting Yulin's slaughterhouses is a traumatizing and forever hunting experience, according to Peter J. Lin. He said that on my trip to the city in 2016, I saw a slaughterhouse operation in an open market. The killing was happening just 2 or 3 feet away from other terrified, trembling, and handling dogs. I still have vivid images of the poor dogs standing in pools of blood, waiting their turn, while it's a myth that dog traders torture the animals to make dog meat tastier. The dog slaughter I witnessed in Yulin is ugly beyond description. It does not need any exaggeration to make it uglier. And beyond that, slaughtering dying and diseased dogs for food violates China's own food safety laws.
Now, in contrasting perspective, along with Peter J. Lee, which the activist perspective, a Chinese academic and activist working with animal welfare organizations, an activist, a practice that emphasizes direct, vigorous action, especially in support of or opposition to one side of controversial issues, which claims the festival is not a long-standing tradition, which means a custom or practice that has been followed consistently, kung saan merong mga spanning generations that signifies a history of continuity. But he thinks
It is a modern commercial event started in 2009, which means a scheduled function of a public nature including, but not limited to arts, crafts shows, antique shows, concerts, and so on. Dito din makikita na the other performances where fees are charged to those vendors or members sa public for participation and or admission. He criticizes the inhumane treatment of dogs, including torture and slaughter without regulation. He also advocates for banning the dog meat trade, improving animal protection laws, and raising public awareness. Therefore, Yulin traders' perspective defend the practice as a part of Southern Chinese food culture. Pinagkukumpara ito sa consumption of beef or pork, which they also emphasize the economic importance of the festival to local business and tourism, which is dito na din pumapasok na they are doing it for their source of living, for everyday life. For some of them, they view external criticism, especially from Western countries such as America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and countries in Europe with the exception of the former Eastern Europe and Turkey, as cultural imperialism or interference in local customs. And lastly, some believe dogs are livestock and not morally different from other meat animals. They telling us that the meat of the dog is not different from the other meat, such as pork and beef, for what I have told earlier, kasi iniisip din nila na nagiging source of living nga din nila ito. Nabibenta naman nila, nakakain din naman nila, tulad ng mga karneng karaniwang nakikita sa palengke.
Next is group analysis, ethical reflection. The moral dilemma of eating dogs. Eating dogs is controversial because in many cultures, they are seen as loyal pets, not food. Turing din silang alagang hayop at kasama sa pamilya, ngunit hindi sapat na dahilan ang culture lamang para sabing mali ito, lalo na kung ang ibang hayop tulad ng baboy at baka ay kinakain din ng walang pag-aalinlangan o walang katanungan. Halimbawa, maaring sabihin ng isang tao sa Amerika na ang pagkain ng aso ay hindi pwede o malupit, pero regular siyang kumakain ng baboy o baka kahit na ang baboy ay meron ring itong nararamdaman na sakit tulad ng aso. Ipinapakita nito ang pagkakaroon ng double standard. Utilitarianism under scrutiny. So, ayon sa utilitarianism, ang tama ay kung ano ang nakapagpapasaya o nakababawas ng paghirap. Kung ang pagkain ng aso ay nagdudulot ng matinding takot o sakit sa mga hayop, hindi ito matuturing na tama kahit ito ay parte ng kultura. Halimbawa is sa Yulin Dog Meat Festival. Ang mga aso ay kinukulong sa masikip na kulungan o hawla at madalas pinapahirapan bago ito patayin. Mas malaki ang paghirap ng mga aso kaysa sa panandaliang kasiyahan lang ng mga taong kumakain sa festival.
And according to Immanuel Kant's ethics, would not prohibit eating a dog's meat, as he argued that animals, being non-rational and lacking autonomy, are not ends in themselves, and therefore lack the intrinsic moral status of humans. He viewed animals as means to be used by humans for various purposes including food, as long as cruelty was avoided.
In conclusion,